Muslim population in UK is about 3 million. And in total, there are about 10 million children in full-time schooling. So of those, about 7% of children in British schools are of the Muslim faith background. And the Muslim schools themselves, which have an Islamic designation, if you like, they have a religious character, as they call it. Those schools number something around 120 in the whole country. But only 5% of Muslim children actually go to these schools.
طاهر، هذه المدارس الإسلامية في بريطانيا أثرها غير عادي، بل نحن نفتخر أنها تميزت عن باقي المدارس الحكومية والخاصة. كيف حصلت على هذا التميز؟
Now, within the Muslim school sector, there are two types of schools. There is the state-funded provision, and about half of the children go to the state-funded provision, and the half of the schools are independent schools. And in the state-funded provision, in the recent government rankings, in fact, for the third year running, not just this year, but the year before as well, some of the Muslim schools have been scoring very highly in those rankings. The rankings are for different things, but the particular criteria for which Muslim schools have topped in the whole country, not just in the Muslim school sector, but in the entire country, they have come top, is a measure known as Progress 8. Progress 8 is a measure of progress. So for example, if a child is expected to, in the particular school, if a child might be expected to get, say, a grade 5, in this school, if the expected grade against a normal kind of progress was 5, they will get a grade 7. So you can see that the difference they are making, the interventions that they are putting in, and how they're able to engage the children, motivate the children to really work for their education and work with their families is quite a unique, and the environment as well, and the criteria, the top 3 positions, 1, 2, and 3, are occupied by Muslim schools, namely schools run by Star Academies, and the Tawheedul Islam Girls' School is top in the whole country for how much progress children are. Although there's only 120 schools, only 5% of children attend those schools. If you compare that now to, say, Christian children, there is 1/3 of all children who are of Christian background have an opportunity to go to a Christian provision, which is state-funded. And about 60% of Jewish children go to Jewish schools.
أستاذ طاهر، أنت ساهمت في إدارة وتأسيس الكثير من المدارس الإسلامية في بريطانيا. ما هي نصيحتك للمستثمرين؟ هل هذا استثمار مهم؟
Malcolm X, a very famous American, he said, education is passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. So I think that those societies, those parents, those communities, those nations, those people who want to succeed, they have to really invest in education and prioritize education. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the first word he revealed to the Prophet was Iqra, read. So therefore education since that point has played a very pivotal and a central role in Islamic civilizational.
ولماذا المسلمين أسسوا هذه المدارس الخاصة في بريطانيا؟ ما هو أهمية هذا الأمر؟
Education is not a value-free enterprise, it's a value-rich enterprise. So values are central to what education is. And of course, different communities, people of different backgrounds, ideological persuasions, have different visions for life in the world, as it were, and have a different vision of reality. So Muslims, of course, just like Christians and Jews before them, when they came here, they found that their children's religious and spiritual needs were not being met in schools at all. Islam was non-existent in their life when they went to school, so they had to leave Islam, if you like, and who they were as an identity as well, because Islam is much more than a religion, it's part of who you are. So they were having to leave all of these things outside the school gate. So some Muslim leaders, they felt that this was not an appropriate future for their children, and they wanted a model which actually reflected the spiritual, moral heritage. And obviously this is very much rooted in Islamic tradition. I mean, the Quran does not facilitate or lend itself to the idea that there is a secular world and there is a religious world as such. And of course, with respect to education of children, every parent wants their child to be successful. So the idea of success or falah is very, very important in education. So this is why we are sending our children to school. But what is the idea of success? It was the important question that I think Muslim leaders considered when they established these schools, because our idea of success رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَبِالْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً. It's not just the success in the dunya, but also success in the akhirah.